right, so here's a new format for a Q&A series. I enjoy a lot of driving and car vlogs outside of one terrible one that I've seen recently. And so I thought this might be kind of an interesting, different format to mix this up a bit, have some fun with it, keep it fresh, and answer some of your questions while we cruise around beautiful Bozeman, Montana, where I make my home, and you can take in some of the sights. I want to say thanks to all of you for the genuine, sincere questions I got. I can't obviously get to all of them in one video, or else we're going to be sitting here for like a half hour. But I have stored them for future reference, so if you don't see it in this one, it might show up in a later one. Or you can always ask me in the comment section or on Twitter, and I'd be happy to answer a question there for you if you have one. All right, so let's get some video game house cleaning out of the way, because this was once a video game channel, and I swear it's going to continue to be once video games get better. I got a couple questions from Big Calv and Mick that I'm going to kind of lump together. Big Calv wants to know if I'm going to bring Rage back for Black Ops 3, and Mick wants to know what games I'm looking forward to coming up in the next year here. The reason I'm lumping these questions together is because it's very difficult for me to speculate about video games coming up in the future. If I'm going to learn from the last year or two as a trend, I can't say that I'm really looking forward to any, and I also can't promise any content based on games that aren't out yet, because over the last few years I've ended up using games more as coasters than as an actually playable product. There are games I'm looking forward to. I'm a big Star Wars guy, so I am a little bit hyped on Battlefront. But honestly, I think disappointment over the last few years is part because the games have been objectively broken, but part because we all buy into the hype train, man. Disappointment is just a symptom of expectation, so if we all just lower down our expectations a little bit, we might not be as disappointed. The game that absolutely floored me and changed my life forever was Call of Duty 4, and when it came out I just thought it was going to be another game. I didn't really care, and my brother was playing it and I thought, it was like, oh, this looks kind of interesting, I guess. And then I got into it, and it was basically the best game I had ever played. And I think if we get another game on that level here, it's going to have to be via that same process. We're not going to have huge expectations going into it, and something is just going to surprise us and sneak right up on us in the way that game did. Now about Black Ops 3 and Rage specifically, yeah, I very much want to bring that series back. The Library of COD Rage is how I started my channel. It's what I want my focus to be. But I'm not going to play a game that's garbage just to make videos. I've tried doing that with Ghosts. I've tried doing that with Advanced Warfare. I want Black Ops 3 to be good, I really do. I want to flash back to 2012, and I want to fire up my Xbox, and I want to see all my friends playing that game, and I want to hop online with them, and I want to have fun, and I want to have people talk lots of shit to us while we play. Because that for me is about as fun as video games get. So if the game is good, you'll absolutely see it on my channel. And that's true for really any game going forward. American Pancho asks what would get me to play Ghosts again. A gun to the head? Knife to my scrotum? Nah, that's absurd. Not even then. I got a lot of questions about politics and government, which were pretty interesting to me, so I'll pick one. Muffin Man asked me if I could serve in any political office, whether it was elected or appointed, what would it be? And my answer is I would like to be a Supreme Court Justice. Now, I'm not qualified to be a Supreme Court Justice, obviously. I don't have a law degree. I've never practiced. I don't fit the mold on paper, but what I admire about the position is it's appointed, it's not elected, and therefore you are not beholden to the political whims of the public. Justices are going to act according to what the law says and according to what is right, not according to what the imbeciles out in the street are demanding. And I think the predicaments they face are actually very interesting. It is their duty to apply the law as the law reads, regardless of who it might affect, regardless of how it might affect them. It's very difficult to be a weasel as a Supreme Court Justice in the same way other politicians can be weasels. Those other politicians can often have it both ways. They can tell you they're all for family morals, for example, while they're off with some prostitute in a back alley or whatever else happens. I got a lot of respect for the Supreme Court and for all of the intelligent minds that have served on it. Jacob Tui asks, what is the difference between a zucchini and a cucumber? A lesson I learned the hard way with one of my recent videos. So as you may know, a cucumber is cold and waxy and is classified as a gourd, which falls under the fruit family. A zucchini, by contrast, is classified as something called a cucurbita, and is therefore a vegetable. Now, cucumbers are best served and eaten raw, whereas zucchinis are best served cooked. Zucchinis are also dry and rough in texture as opposed to the cold, waxy cucumber. So my question is, if Alexis Fruling was eating a cucumber and not a zucchini, does that mean she likes it raw as opposed to dry and rough? Something tells me she's not a woman of discriminating tastes anyhow. Back to more serious questions of social consequence. Philip Baker asks, should we value competition over cooperation? which is a pretty broad question. You could apply it to a lot of different things. We'll just think about our kind of socioeconomic system here. It's funny because we just always hear communism, socialism kind of demonized in American political rhetoric as though it is something that is so foreign to the way we've structured our economy and the way we've structured our society. Our American economic system and social system is not as simple as Adam Smith's invisible hand was right and Karl Marx was absolutely wrong. The reality of our society, and as it pertains to your question, is there are elements of good in both. Surprise, surprise, the nuanced answer is usually the correct one. We all certainly understand the merits of competition, right? If we have competing people or competing businesses or anything competing, even if it's sports teams or music or anything, art forms, competition fosters the rising of the best among us to the top, which is a great thing. We want to promote that in society. But to the extent we have competition, we will also have losers. By definition, a competition will have a winner and it will have a loser. So for our society, the question becomes, what do we do with the losers? And quite frankly, the question of what do we do with the losers is at the crux of a lot of our political debates. But really the answer, generally speaking, our society has come to is the answer that I'd advocate for as well. We have to make sure that those who have put a sincere effort into the competition of society are not going to be cast aside to die on the streets. And we have to ensure that just because someone has failed to compete in one venue doesn't mean that person is going to be unable to compete with other opportunities or compete in other areas or find other ways to contribute to society. I know that's a very broad answer, but the question is also broad, so we'll just have to leave it at that. So that's all I've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A style video. If you do, please ask away. The health of the series going forward, if it continues, is going to be based on the quality of the questions. Thanks for giving this new video style a shot. Really appreciated all the questions. My name is Skag. I don't do outros. Just kidding, I do. That's just a shout out to Frito, who encouraged me to be on camera more.